Alright, this is going to be a very quick tutorial on how to add the clothing and accessories to your Chibi base. One thing that we need to make sure is that we have VRC Fury installed into our project, as well as the Poyomi Toon Shader. But if you already have the Chibi base in your project, you should already have the Poyomi Toon Shader. VRC Fury is new to the clothing. I just find that this is the easiest way to attach them. So yeah, I've already gone ahead and imported the packages into my project. You can just do that by coming down here to the assets section here, right-clicking, and doing import package and custom package, and you just find the Unity packages that you downloaded from Gumroad. So at this point, I'm just going to drag out a couple of prefabs. If you take a look in your folder, you can see a couple new folders here. So we got the accessories and the clothing is split into two. I'm just going to take a second and drag out a few prefabs here. And I'm just going to be dragging them out into the hierarchy here and not into the actual scene. So now that I have this incredible fit picked out, I'm going to start setting up the toggles with VRC Fury. And before I do that, I just wanted to call out the fact that a bunch of these meshes have adjustment blend shapes. So if your avatar, for example, let's go. It's a bit on the chunkier side. We could go into the blend shapes. It's a little bit hard to see. Hold on. You can go into the blend shapes, see how it's clipping here. And I have a bunch of adjustment blend shapes here. So you can definitely adjust them before you set anything up. That would be recommended. Once we set up VRC Fury, we'll be able to toggle on and off the fluff and everything else. So you can ignore that for now. Alright, so there are two types of prefabs here. There are simpler ones where we can just simply drag and drop onto a bone onto the armature to parent them, and it actually won't need VRC Fury to do an armature link. So the Band-Aid and the hat are good examples of those, so let's do those right now. So in the hierarchy, we're just going to click down into the armature to the head bone, because we want to parent both of these to the head bone here. And I'm just going to control-click to select both of them and drag them to the head bone here so that it gets parented. And that's actually good enough to parent them. We're going to set up a toggle in the menu for them later. For now, I am going to be control-clicking and then unchecking them up here so that they're hidden. Alright, and now we can set up the VRC Fury armature link for everything else, since they come with armatures. So I'm going to right-click, create empty, and I'm just going to call this VRC Fury. This is not required. You can just throw all of these into your main component here if you wanted to. I will not be doing that just for the sake of cleanliness. So now that we have this empty, I'm going to drag it and parent it to your avatar. I'm going to add a component. Let's see, VRC Fury. Oops, cannot type armature link. So we're adding an armature link, and I'm going to be adding 4 of them. Okay, and what this does is it will automatically attach the the armature from your clothing to the armature of your avatar. And so we do this by just dragging the hip bone into this slot here. And then VRC Fury will work like magic and you won't need to think about anything else. And that's why I recommend VRC Fury above doing it by hand. So yeah, the armature link is set up. I'm going to go into our empty here, and I'm going to create a new empty, and I'm just going to call it toggles. And this, I'm just doing this so that everything is readable and clean. And so now we're going to set up our toggles. There we go, toggle, and we're setting up 4, 5, 6 of them. I'll just add a couple for now. So for our dad hat and the band-aid, well, first of all, we're going to add an action, and we're going to do an object toggle. Then we're going to drag our dad hat into this slot. So we're toggling on the dad hat and the menu path. So this is going to create a menu in your hand wheel. I'm going to call this clothing DLC, and then slash will put it into a submenu or a subtoggle, and this will be dad hat. Okay, so when we toggle on the hat, I also want the hair to be removed. And I made a new animation in the 1.2.1 update that actually grabs the hair and shrinks it into the head so that it doesn't clip into any of the hats. So the way that we can do that is by clicking the plus here, and we're going to add a animation clip. This is actually the only animation clip that I made for the clothing. Everything else are blend shapes. So we're going to search for hair, hide hair. And you're going to get this error that the hair fizz bone isn't marked as animated. And we can fix that really easily by just going into our fizz bone dropdown, going to the hair, and then down here we're going to check off is animated, and that'll fix that issue. And we want to make sure that this is checked because otherwise it will not animate, so your hair will clip. So if your toggle isn't working, make sure that this is checked on. So we're going to go back, and I think that's it for the hats. We're going to do this again for the band-aid because we want to be able to toggle the band-aid on and off. Let's see, okay, clothing DLC slash band-aid. And we don't actually need to turn on any blend shapes or animations for that, so I'll just leave it by itself. I'm going to add a new toggle, and we're going to start on the clothes here. So the crossbody bag, object toggle, okay, here we go. Crossbody bag, new clothing, DLC, oops, clothing DLC. Good lord, please. Okay. So it's throwing me an error here, but only because I haven't parented these to the actual avatar yet. They're kind of just hanging out in the scene. So let's do that really quick. I'm just gonna select all of them and parent them to the avatar. It's probably yelling at me because... yeah, okay. It's just sometimes Unity is fickle. Okay. And the error went away. So let's hide everything else. So when the crossbody bag is on, I want to hide the shoulder fluffs, so we're gonna add a blend shape. And the blend shape that I want to turn on is called, I made a bunch of hide blend shapes and scrunkle blend shapes, particularly for the 1.2.1 update. So if you don't see these, then you haven't updated your avatar, and I highly recommend that you do, because otherwise you will see a lot of clipping. But anyways, so we want to hide the shoulder fluff. And that's really it. So when this just tells VRC Fury that when the bag is on, the shoulder fluff is going to be hidden. It's going to play that blend shape. I'm going to be adding a couple more as I build out this toggle menu, but for now that'll do. So I'm just going to hide it and move on. All right, and I'm just going to copy this and paste it. Just so it's a little easier. I'm going to call this Letterman jacket. I'm going to drag this over here. We also want to hide the shoulder fluffs when the Letterman jacket is on. When the Letterman jacket is on, we also want to if the Letterman jacket and the crossbody bag is on at the same time, we want the crossbody bag to be adjusted as well. So I'm going to be adding another blend shape. And if I search up crossbody bag, you'll see all of the blend shapes that are actually on the crossbody bag. And so there are a bunch of clothing adjusts. So there's the one for the Letterman jacket. So we want to turn that one on. Okay, and I'm going to set up the rest off camera, and I will go through and explain everything at the end. Alright, so I've gone through and added all the blend shapes and all of the clothing that I wanted to my toggles. One thing I forgot to mention is that I did add a bunch of these so-called scrunkle blend shapes, which basically just scrunch up the body into itself so that it doesn't clip as much with the clothing. So there are a few different ones. There's one for the shorts, there's one for the joggers, and then there's a couple different ones for the tops. So there's a long sleeve one, a short sleeve one, one that's like for the pits only. There might be one other that's escaping me right now. But just so you know that those are also blend shapes that I highly recommend that you add into your toggle. So basically what I did here is I just made sure that when my clothing item is on, it is hiding all of the fluff, and it is also shrinking the body so that it's not clipping into the clothing, or outside of the clothing, I mean. And that's basically what I did here. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. And so now we can test it in Unity using the gesture manager. So I will press play and test this out. One thing to note, when you go to build your avatar with VRC Fury for the first time, it'll ask you if you want to automatically fix right defaults. And as long as it tries to convert it to on, then yes, you should auto fix this. If it tries to convert it to off, then I would skip. Just because it'll probably break stuff on the avatar if it tries to auto fix it to off. So I would just say auto fix on. And if you get this avatar error, your avatar's renders don't have all the anchor overrides set, always say yes. That'll just help with the lighting. All right, moment of truth, so expressions. So we see now that we have our clothing DLC option in our menu, and we see everything, all of the toggles that we set up. So let's see, we got the shorts, and we got the tee. See how it hides the shoulder fluff. We got the dad hat, which should, yeah, it plays the hide hair animation. So that's working. We got our band-aid. All right. And we have our crossbody bag that also hides the fluff, and our Letterman jacket. And when the Letterman jacket and the crossbody bag are on at the same time, it also plays the adjustment blend shape for the crossbody bag so that that doesn't clip. So that's good that it works there. And we also have the tee. All right, yeah. Everything looks like it's working as intended. Yeah, that is a quick tutorial on how to add clothing to the Chibi base. Thank you for buying it and for your endless patience. I know that this took a while to get out, but I really appreciate your patience, and I hope that everybody enjoys. Bye.